You've said that Africans and Europeans should be equals. Now we have a situation in Libya where there are people who are apparently being sold as slaves. Shouldn't Europe be doing more to stop this?
Europe cannot be silent in the face of this extraordinary problem, which dates back to another century. Africa is all too familiar with the problem of slavery. I'm appalled by the information that's reaching me from Africa. We know about Libya's problems. Libya is not a state like any other. So it is neither conceivable nor acceptable for Europe to close its eyes to this tragedy, which is a daily tragedy for so many people, children, women and men in Libya. I already wanted us to turn our attention to this problem at a previous European Council meeting. I can't sleep easily when I think about what's happening to those people who went to Libya to try and improve their lives. They found themselves in hell.
Were you shocked? It was known that the situation in Libya was very difficult, but the extent of it, Africans being auctioned off as slaves, were you shocked?
Yes, I was very shocked. I didn't know until 2 months ago the full extent of the problem. It's become a constant, urgent phenomenon. No, although Europe must maintain suitable relations with Libya, it cannot be silent, and it will not be silent.
But isn't it also a direct result of the fact that controls in the Mediterranean have been reinforced, that it's become more difficult for Africans to get to Europe?
The controls have been improved. They needed to be improved. And the fact that there are a growing number of refugees on Libyan territory who are no longer able to get to Europe across the Mediterranean is no excuse for raping, killing and robbing people. They're in camps which are like prisons, not refugee camps.
Shouldn't we rather be finding legal ways for people to migrate to Europe in order to reduce these problems in Libya?
Since 2014, and during the campaign for the European elections, and afterwards too, in my address to the European Parliament, I've always argued in favour of legal migration. I believe that if we don't offer legal ways of emigrating to Europe and immigrating within Europe, we will be lost. If those who come, who are, generally speaking, the poor and needy, are no longer able to get into Europe through the front door, they'll keep making their way in through the back. So we need to create legal ways to come to Europe, and the Commission has already made suggestions. Europe will clearly need immigration in the coming decades, so we have to provide those who want to come and are able to come, and whose situation makes it possible for them to come, with legal paths to get to Europe.
Why doesn't that work? Why is there so much resistance?
We have referred it to the Member States, and we'll see what the Member States do about it. The Member States, in their wisdom, don't always follow the Commission's proposals. In 2001, the Commission proposed a joint system to protect the external borders. The Member States rejected it, only to demand it now. So we've implemented these joint controls of the external borders. When it comes to resolving the great challenges of our age, we have to leave it to the imagination of those who are governing the Member States. Migration is a great challenge of our age, so it's not just about preparing for the future. We should have prepared for the present yesterday.
Is fear of migration and populists proving the death of reason among the Member States?
Populists are dangerous in themselves, but they are far more dangerous when the traditional parties adopt their unwholesome proposals. If traditional parties follow the populists, they become populist themselves, which is a phenomenon we're already seeing in some EU countries. No, we should not be afraid of the populists. We should embrace those the extremists are targeting.
That's not what's happening. Isn't fear overcoming reason with regard to immigration?
There are the Commission's proposals, which also have the backing of the European Parliament. Now it's up to the Member States to follow the path of wisdom.
You've now called for more solidarity with Africa, not just solidarity among Europeans. Is this solidarity more than just financial?
Yes, but it's a solidarity that must touch on all areas of international life. Africa must become aware of the fact that it is already, today, a big international player. Europe should not ignore Africa's global ambitions. For me, Africa has always played a part in shaping history. Certain Europeans just didn't see that.